Yep, I did. I got a new car. If you're thinking, what happened to the Saturn? It's still here. Basically, to put it nicely, I'm done with this car. It's been reliable, but it has so many little issues that just aggravate me. I'm tired of driving a car that if I get tapped, I'm going to die. I'm tired of driving a car that is supposed to get 40 miles per gallon and has literally never gotten any better than 26 on the highway. And it's a 12-gallon tank. I'm tired of driving a car where you can't lock or unlock one of the doors unless you're outside the car. I'm tired of driving a car where the radio constantly shorts out. I'm tired of driving a car where you can't open the trunk because the keyhole's jammed. I'm tired of driving a car where the hood release has to be opened with pliers. I'm tired of driving a car that consumes a literal quart of oil every 500 miles. Yes, this car is very easy to drive, and that's why I bought it. It's very easy to drive, but for a car that gets 16 miles per gallon, I'd rather have more space. So, as cool of a little car as it was, it's done. I'm done with it. The only thing I'm going to miss about it is it being rust-free, but whatever. So, this is the replacement. I wanted a minivan because I've always liked them. Better than SUVs, at least. I didn't need another truck because I already have one. I just needed something that got better fuel economy, and this gets slightly better than even this was getting. So, yeah. And I did want another Ford, so I am now fully a Ford. I mean, I've been a Ford guy forever, but fully Ford, which I'm fine with. 2004 Ford Freestar Limited, which is the highest end model you could get, and I believe it has every feature except for 2 or 3, which it's possible you could only get those couple on the Monterey, but I'm not sure. So, it's a Ford Windstar that got facelifted and a new name, essentially, and a new engine. But I'll show it to you. The GM vans are junk. I've driven them and I absolutely hate them, and they also look like garbage. The Chrysler vans are okay, but they're just meh. I would have been fine with one, but I like these better. The Kia vans are junk. The Honda vans I actually really like. I like the Odysseys, believe it or not, but they are absolute trash. The transmissions are the worst of the worst, and the engines have cylinder deactivation that kills them prematurely, so no to the Honda. And Toyotas are pretty much the only vans that are perfect, but they are, for a van that's in this condition with this mileage, I would have paid 5 times what I paid. I paid very little for this van. I'm not going to say what it was, but it was on the lower side of $2,000. It was not a lot, and it's higher mileage, and it has some issues, but yeah, so no Toyota, so I wanted this. So, I'll give you a walk around. I don't know if it's blue or black. I think it's more... Actually, it might be black. I thought it was blue, but it's black with the silver cladding because it's a limited. It has fog lights, which have a little secret. 16-inch alloy wheels. They're 235/60 16s. It's riding on a set of Starfire Solaris all-season tires. All of them except that one are from 2021. That one is from 2020, and it has slightly less tread, but the rest of these all have good tread. These are actually Cooper made. Cooper makes Starfire tires. It's a budget brand. These are $87 tires, and they are freaking... I mean, they're the best of the best for the price. They're Cooper quality tires without the name. But yeah, nice alloy wheels. It's got the keypad, which works. I know the code. This is because of a leak. It looks mostly rust-free, although it does have some rust. This is the worst of the body, which is going to cave in very soon, as you can tell. That door is slightly... We're on the back. Freestar 4.2 Limited. It's got parking sensors and a Class 1 trailer hitch, which... I bought this from someone who had it since 2013, and he bought it from the original owners. The original owners seem to have treated it okay. The guy I bought it from treated it very well. He never towed with it, so that was put on by the original owners. I have a truck, so I don't need to use that. It does have parking sensors, although they don't work. You can see he's fixed this a couple times. There's a crack here. This tailgate handle is kind of broken, but it works if you're careful. The rear wiper works, which is rare on these. And the other side. Tinted windows, got a roof rack with the attachment. So, yeah. Oop, wrong pocket. The headlights could use to be de-yellowed, especially that one, but whatever. So the ignition key looks like every other Ford key, especially like my pickup truck, but the fob is kind of cool. It has sliding door buttons compared to like the regular truck fob. So yeah. The power trunk is one thing that these are missing, but I'm pretty sure on the 04, which was the first year of this, I'm pretty sure you could only get that on the Monterey. So no power trunk. Keypad works like I said. It's got gray leather. They made a beige interior that I like more, but gray is fine. This says stop because a common issue with these Freestars, is that a button? No. A common issue with these Freestars is these driver's window motors. They get the window stuck all the way down and you have to hit this to get it to come back up. According to him, the window works fine, and it does as long as you don't let it go about below here. He actually left this set of pliers in there to use it. So his wife wrote stop on there because this was her vehicle. The rust, you can't tell too bad. Yeah. Seats are okay for the mileage. They're partial power. This one is. It's got a little compartment. My floor mats. This door, the lock is a little bit jammed, so it doesn't lock or unlock with the button, but it's very rough. But if you pull it, it unlocks. Freestar. Being a limited, this one has the enhanced gauge cluster with the chrome and the bigger screen. I'll start it up. The screen is kind of dark. 226, 154. I bought it with, I think, 101. So, yeah. But I'll start it up here. You can hear it does make some interesting noises. I'll turn the headlights on, the hazards. Roll this down part way, and I'll let you see the lights, and I'll pop the hood. Mirror indicators. It's got nice slow turn signals, which I appreciate a lot. It is running a little bit rich. It does smooth out once it's warm, but I do like going back to a car that only has one bulb in the back instead of two, like the Saturn, so when your brake light burns out, you don't know. One other thing that's cool is you might be thinking, well, how do you turn the fog lights on? So, the fog lights are actually not fog lights. When the headlights are on and you put a turn signal on, in 2004, you actually get cornering lights. And then it goes out when the signal goes off, which is crazy. But yeah, one issue that it has, these turn signals don't auto-cancel, so if you turn the wheel in either direction, they don't cancel. I don't know why. Automatic lights. I'll show you under the hood real quick, which is kind of a nightmare. 4.2 liter V6, and this is what you get. Yeah. He had to do coil packs on this and said it was hell, which it's the same engine that the base model F-150s had. It's a great engine. It's just super slow and super inefficient, but it'll go forever. Transmissions, on the other hand, are a little more iffy, but I don't think there's a good minivan transmission. Roll that up. So we do have some warning lights on. Parking brake is on, so that's there. The traction off light, the tire pressure light, and the ABS light are actually because the ECU has gone bad on it, I guess. All of those systems work, but the ECU makes the lights stay on, and the only way to get rid of it is to buy a new ECU, which he didn't do, which does mean when you get in the car, you do have to hit check tires, reset, check traction control, reset. There we go. There's the trip odometer. And then if you hit info, average fuel economy, trip time, nothing, miles till empty, and trip. Very basic gauge cluster. Nice slow turn signals. Wipers, which work. The rear wiper, which works, surprisingly enough, on these vans. Steering. The alignment is a little bit off. You have to hold the wheel like that. Windows, locks, power pedal adjustments, wheel adjustment, cruise control, volume. The cruise control doesn't work. It's got a 4-speed automatic with a column shifter, which of course I appreciate. For how many miles are on it, the trans actually shifts good. It's got low gear, so that's nice. I'll rev it a little. Sounds pretty good. There's a crack in the windshield. Visors, which have lights. You've got your temperature and your compass, which you can turn on and off. This is a little mirror, which you can adjust. Dome lights, this one's burned out. You have your sliding door controls and your control to turn it on and off, which I have off because I hate sliding doors that are powered. This sun visor is a little broken. Oh shit bar. Auto dimming mirror, which you can see out of. Storage. Clock, which was only on the limited. Same radio as pretty much every Ford, and it works good. Vent window, which is for the back windows. They open. Parking sensors off. Traction control off. Hazards. The buttons for the gauge cluster. Climate control is a little complicated. One of the other options this is missing is heated seats, and the third one is the center console. But you turn it on basically like that. You can hit auto. This adjusts the driver's temperature. This adjusts the passengers. There's the blend door actuators moving. This adjusts the rear. Fan speed is sideways, which is kind of weird. Zones, AC. This is for the rear. Whatever. I would have preferred manual controls. And then this button here, we'll turn it back on here. If you hit rear, this gives, I believe it gives them the ability to control the, yeah, it does. When you hit rear, it gives the back passengers the ability to control the temperature, and then if you take it off, it gives you the ability with these buttons, which is what the rear there is. So, yeah. Wood grade here. This little thing, which is really handy because there's no center console, folds in, and then there's a little storage cubby, but I just keep this out. Little spot for stuff there. Cigarette lighters. Parking brake. Little gap in the floor. It's really all there is to show up here, at least. Yeah. I put the window thing, or the phone things in, obviously. But I guess at this point I'll just shut it down and I will show you the back. So. It's got one of those like cylinder things on the key lock, which is funny because it's a 2004. That's obviously the radio position, and then off, and then the on, and then the next one is run. So obviously the back doors are powered, but I have the control turned off because I don't think 20-year-old Ford window motors are going to be that, or door motors are going to be that good. The doors are kind of heavy. And then on the models with the mirror indicators, whenever you open a sliding door, the respective indicator comes on, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Here's the second row, captain's chairs. Get back here. And I'll shut the door if I can do it one-handed because it's a monstrously heavy door. I don't know how on the vans with manual doors they expected kids to do that. And then it has armrests on both sides. And this is where I would sit, and this is comfortable. These seats slide forward and back, which is nice. They come out, which is very hard to do, so I'm not going to show it. You do have a button for a sliding door, which would work if I had it on. These seats, if you pull this lever, they recline all the way back or up, which is nice. Dome light, vent, a hook. You have your climate controls for back here, fan speeds, and then the zones mixed with the temperature, which is kind of weird. And then you have the radio controls here. Nice handle, which is good. The van that they replaced this with was a Caravan, he said, a 2017, and apparently this thing has more room. The one thing I will say is that the seatbelts are kind of far back to reach, although this one goes up pretty high. They're adjustable. What's weird is that this seatbelt doesn't go up that high. It goes up to there, but this one goes all the way up to the roof, which I guess is good for adults. So, obviously if you hit this button, if the door was on, it would come on, but I have it off, because screw that system. Cup holders here. The headrests are adjustable. To get into the third row, you just flick this, pull that, and then pull this. And then basically ignore that random block of wood that's in here. But then you can slide back here. You can put the seat back, and then you need two hands, but you pull this lever. And even if you recline the seat, I'm 5'8", and there's still decent room. Seats are a little, like, short. But it's good room back here. You got a dome light. I'm sitting on the middle seat belt. The seat belt is kind of, you do have to reach back for it, but there's cup holders, there's headrests. There's really nothing not like back here, and while you're sitting back here, you can fuck with the middle person and adjust their seat belt, which, yeah. If this seat was slid forward, there'd be even more room, but they're all the way back. I think that's where it was. And then obviously to get out, you would just flick this, and then if the headrest wasn't there, it would go all the way forward, but then whoever's... I mean, even if the seat's just like this, you can still easily get out. It's not like an SUV where it's horrible. And then you flick that. There we go. There we go. And then the armrests go down, but whatever. Cigarette lighter here, because this is 04 and people weren't obsessed with those yet. I'll show you if you do have the sliding doors on, which it should be noted that the key fob and these buttons will work no matter what, but it disables this and the handle for kids. Which, if the vehicle is on, those buttons actually don't work. It has to be off, which is kind of weird, but we'll flick the switch, which has a light, and then we'll hit the button here. And it closes, and then if you want to open it, you just pull, maybe. There we go. Got to give it a tug, and it opens. I don't care at all for that, so we'll leave that off. These doors are very heavy, though. I don't know how they expected kids to be able to do that, because it even takes me some strength. Fuel door. I'm pretty sure you can open them with the vent glass open, too. I'll go ahead and lock this door, because it doesn't lock with the button. Slam it. And then the trunk. This handle, like I said, is kind of loose. Carefully pull it. Trunk struts are a little worn out. So this is another thing. There is no license plate light wiring. I have the other thingy, but it fell off. I went to change the bulbs because there were no license plate bulbs, and there's no wiring. And the guy that had it before me said it was like that, because I texted him because he gave me his number, and he said, yeah, it's been like that the whole time we've had it. So I ordered a little solar-powered bar light that I'm going to try to fit here, but it's not a major thing, but it's, you know, I don't think it'll get you pulled over around here, but if you run a light by accident or something, then maybe. Tailgate's not terribly rusted. Struts still hold it. Hitch. So, being an 04, this was actually the first van sold in America that had the pit stow-and-go system thing in the back. You got to think about, in 04, Chrysler hadn't done the stow-and-go yet. So Ford was actually the first manufacturer to say, hey, we found a solution so that with your third row, instead of taking your seats out, you can pull a series of levers, and now you don't have to worry about taking your seats out. And in the commercials, which the reason it stuck is because the seatbelt locked up, which this can come out. But this was a big feature. They're like, oh, you having trouble with your Caravan? Come check this out. Look how easy this is. So they were actually the first ones to do the fold into the floor thing, not Chrysler. And then to fold it up, you just pull the handle. do that. Pull that at the same time. These handles are notorious to break on these vans. But yeah, and then if you pull this, you can actually fold it back like a picnic table, which is kind of funny. So this is actually funny too. The reason that there's a tear in this seat is from this buckle. That's the only rip in any of the leather, but yeah, so picnic seat. And then these seats will recline too if you pull this like this, but in theory it's designed so that you can just do that. And then they didn't label it that well, which is probably why Chrysler did it better. See, if you drop it slowly, you can prevent the buckle from hitting. But yeah, so fun fact, Chrysler was not the first company to do this. Toyota did it in 04 too, I think. This dome light's burned out, but it works. Spare tire, or the jack, is in there, and the thingy on the floor is there because it's under the van. But yeah, that is handy, I will say that. Of course, Chrysler then was like, oh, well, we're gonna fuck their day up and make Stow & Co. This door, there's a plane info. It's more of the same over here. Cup holder, armrest. Really freaking heavy door that you gotta use all kinds of force with. If I had two hands, it's fine. This seatbelt is really hard to grab because it's so low, but for kids, it's probably fine. Yeah. I'm sure these rip off when kids grab it, but I'm sure most people left the sliding doors on, but on the vans that didn't have the sliding doors, it's probably hard. Manual passenger seat. It's comfortable. Tiny little glove compartment with the owner's manual. There's the license plate light. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I got to say about it. It's a pretty nice van. It does have some issues, but we're working on getting them addressed. One of the biggest issues with this being a Michigan vehicle, I will present it to you. Right there. It has a crack in the subframe. So we're working on addressing that. I'm going to have it welded because it's not terrible otherwise. These rockers are all chewed up, unfortunately. You can see it's pushed in back there, so that's the worst of it. But yeah, that's the most unfortunate part about this van is it's not rust-free. Driver's side is better, but the actual frame itself is good. It's just that front part. You can see where the pinch welding is completely gone, sadly, but whatever. It'll get me down the road. And it's not unsafe, so yeah. I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and click like. Follow me on the web at isaac24.com. That is the new Isaac Mobile.